Hey there, guys. I'm Stephy Steph, and this is an extra special episode of Between Two Teeth.
You forgot to introduce me. Who
no,
am I?
I am not. You should introduce yourself. You're actually better at that.
Oh, thank you very much. Well, I am Bobby. I digress now.
We've also got Dr. Craig Armstrong on today, and we are
Super
ecstatic.
special.
Thank
We are
you so
excited.
much for joining us. We're so
My
happy to
pleasure.
have you.
We don't get many people to join us. For
I think it's
things
because
like
of
this.
you.
I think you're right.
I can't believe that. No, I'm looking forward to it, guys.
All right, Steph.
All right.
What are we talking about
So
today?
here's the cool thing. I love doing interviews like this. Obviously everybody knows you, knows who you are. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna mix it up today. We are going to have you interview us, and I hope you're
wow.
ready for this wild
No
ride.
questions are off
No
limits.
questions are
Well,
I mean,
within
wow.
reason. Within reason.
And the other cool thing that we're gonna kind of address is these uncomfortable silences. I heard that the magic is in the silence. What do you guys think?
I love uncomfortable
Well,
silences.
so I'm going to be the interviewer. So
Yes.
the questions that I'm going to come up with may put you guys on a little bit of an edge. So just be prepared. I'm just telling you that, okay?
Actually,
born
I'm
ready.
nervous. I'm gonna be the honest one here.
I'm not. Born ready.
And you should be.
Oh no!
Go.
No.
We're ready.
All right. So thank you guys for being on my show today. I appreciate it.
He's literally just
great.
taking
I'm
You know
taking
what?
over now between
I
two teeth.
love
So
this.
but thank you both. It's great to be with you here. So tell me the idea behind Between Two Teeth. What prompted you guys to put this together? Because I think it's a great concept, but what was the impetus behind it? Because
Good
I
question.
have known both of you separately, and to see you guys come together on a project like this, I just want to know the backstory. So tell me that.
Great question.
Yeah.
Pause.
No.
Pause.
Don't pause.
Uncomfortable silence.
Come on now, we're not going to have any of that.
and so one of the things we do with our study club is we have a blue couch in the office, and it has ended up being a metaphor for a safe space. And what I mean by that is we have several of the docs in our area that'll come every Thursday or every one Thursday a month. And the cool thing is it's never about the study club. They show up prior and they talk about life.
The meeting before the meeting.
It's the meeting before the meeting. There has been tears, laughter, joy, whatever, all kind of from docs that are just surrounding our office that come and talk about this stuff.
I agree. And you tell really long stories.
No, I don't. So what we did, with that is
Usually me.
we were on a motorcycle ride one day and we're like, man, we had just finished watching a Zach Galifianakis Between Two Ferns. And if you've ever seen it, it's like this cringe, kind of awkward
A little
humor.
off.
Zach Galifianakis is the guy from The Hangover. He's, I think
yeah,
he's
yeah.
the comedic relief in a comedy, which is awesome.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
so he does these interviews, and I'm like, how cool. We were saying, how cool would it be to bring some of the stuff we talk about on the blue couch,
Bring the blue couch to
bring the blue couch to everybody.
And what
right.
I would say, we were afraid of being perfect, and then we finally just decided, let's just get a microphone and let's just start it.
Yes, and then through all
Is
of
that our
this,
answer?
we decided that our purpose with this was going to be to connect, discover, and inspire. We want to connect with people all over and discover as much about their stories. And hopefully we're inspired, and at the very least, we can inspire some people to go out and do this discovery and live an
That was
adventurous
still a
life
really
themselves.
long answer. And what I would say, connect, discover, inspire is not just lip service. And I hate to say lip service based on this thing that I've got going on my lip, based on another motorcycle with wind and sun. So that's a very
Tell us
great
about
answer.
what's going on with your lip there. What's
Yeah.
It was too much sun and wind on a motorcycle.
To be fair, you just had the
Yeah.
you drew that attention.
Was that a good answer?
You have to live
And then
with this
we do-
answer right here.
And then we pause. We answer the question. Okay, what
All
else do? I'm a little nervous.
I love that.
He's
Thank
just
you
getting
for
started
asking
up.
that, by the way.
No, well,
That's a
that-
really
you know
nice
what?
question.
I've really wondered why you guys did it, because I saw your very first episode, and I still have it. It still comes up on my YouTube channel there, and
Oh,
I
bless
watch
your heart.
it every now and then because I've seen the progression of where you guys came from and where you are now. So
Man, thank
it
you.
looks
Thank
a lot better. It's more professional.
See,
for
I'm
sure.
not sure we're getting better.
And the cool thing from my perspective is that a leader at the ADA is watching our show. This is so awesome because you have someone who is high up there. Realistically,
deal.
like just supporting the
We just thought it
members
would
of
be
the
your
ADA.
mom.
I
Your
love
mom
that.
subscribed like 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, at one
under
point it was just my
different
mom as a
accounts,
subscriber, so
but-
we're
Really?
fortunate and
All right.
blessed.
Thank you. Let's let him ask the next
Next
question.
question. For you guys. So I know that your relationship in terms of your professional relationship where you guys work together. Tell me the funniest thing that's happened with you guys working together in the same practice environment.
We've had to replace a lot of ceiling tiles in her surgical op.
Say that one more time. I think the audience wants to hear that.
Yeah.
You tell the story.
Well, you've set me up now.
No.
I'm going to tell yours. I'm going to tell your story. So we get a lot of. So we're in a surgical practice, and in surgical practices, there's bleeding sometimes, and sometimes
All bleeding stops eventually.
Yeah, the joke is, and it's a bad joke, but all bleeding stops
We never
eventually.
tell that joke whilst bleeding is still occurring.
And the cool thing about a periodontist and an oral surgeon practicing in the same office is
The only cool thing, probably.
is that we were trained differently, even though we do a lot of the same procedures, our training is different. And so
Sure.
we use both of those differences to kind of come together in certain surgical situations.
And it's great for the patient.
And so sometimes you get different styles of handling different surgical experiences. I don't know if that's like a very
Wow, that's
polite
a vague
way.
That's still kind of a long answer, but
I'm trying to think of a really good funny one because I don't know if that's funny. I think
it's just funny working with a periodontist, to be honest.
I like when you walk in the room. I'm going to ignore that one. I like when you walk in the room and we're seeing a patient together for a dual consult, and Bob goes, "I'm the one with the better personality."
Yeah,
and I'm all of a
come in
sudden
hot.
like, what?
Yeah.
So it gets the patient laughing, and the patient gets to experience two completely different people. And it's fantastic and it's
fun,
hilarious.
and it's good for patient care when you can put your ego aside and say, here's someone I'm going to bring in who I think does what you need a little bit better than I do.
The other funny thing,
You go
please
ahead.
go
No, I
ahead.
was going to say, I think that's what I think works about your podcast is that there's no ego. It looks like you guys are having a lot of fun.
We have
for
no
one
fun.
thing, but
I
you're
have
playing
no
off
fun.
of each other, and you give each other permission to step over each other. And I think that's kind of where it makes it kind of fun for us as the viewer. So let me ask you about your blue T-shirts that we all seem to have on.
Oh, that's right.
Oh man.
Let's talk
Can we
about
have
that.
you as permanent host
go.
for this show? By the way, you do a much better job
He's
than we do.
actually a lot better. He's better than me.
This is Ukraine. We're doing our Ukraine mission, and we're going to go to Warsaw, Poland, and actually all three of us
All
are
three
going,
of us,
which
and
is
we're taking a few other
fantastic.
people. I can't believe he said yes.
I can't. Craig's an adventurer. I can
Actually,
believe
he
that.
is. I can
You
believe
know
that.
what? I don't know if you all have been to Eastern Europe, but I have been to the Czech Republic and Budapest and Hungary. And I tell you what, I am so looking forward to Warsaw, Poland, because the people are really what makes trips for me kind of special. And I know that they're not going to know what to do with the two of you. So there may be some international incidents that come out of this.
Can
but
we
I'm
rely
okay
on your negotiation
My
skills and your?
diplomacy will come into effect
Yeah.
here. Yep, you're right. I'm going
That
to
is
try to keep things.
awesome.
I'm going to make sure that we get out of the country safely. How about
Good.
that?
Okay, we're gonna rely on that. I've had some people tell
Okay.
me I need to check in with the American embassy just to make sure.
There you go.
Definitely do.
We'll do that.
Yeah.
Plus, Bob's bigger than the both of us, so he can hopefully protect us. So.
Well, they're going after him first. So Craig, you and I are coming back
Right.
safe and sound.
So we're runners, right?
We're
We can make
runners.
it-
Oh,
Exactly.
that's terrible.
You just
actually.
can't be last, and I think we're good.
That's right.
I'll
I
be
just want to be
last.
faster than Steph, so I'm okay. So.
All
Bob.
right. Great question. Next question.
All right. Tell me, I detect a slight accent from you, Dr. McNeill. Where are you from originally, and how did you make it to Dallas, Texas?
Very good question. Grew up in Canada. I never said A that much, but I have a hard time saying oot, a boot.
Sorry, I can't hear you.
Sorry. And sorry. Canadians say sorry. You know, I came to the States to go to dental school, stayed here for residency, matriculated my way down to Texas, and here I am. It's been a wonderful adventure. And we still play hockey, which is good.
And we're glad to have you. I guess you had to move to a city that had a vibrant hockey scene,
Yes.
professional hockey team, and so forth.
We
So
did. I'm still
that's
waiting
great.
for the
Well,
Dallas Stars to call me. They haven't.
One day.
All
One
right.
day.
Don't quit your day job, I think, but that's good.
This
So
guy's
Steph,
good.
let me ask you a
He's gonna
question.
he's gonna put us out of business. This guy.
No, I'm not. I'm just asking questions that I've been wanting to ask you both, and I haven't had the
And that's
opportunity.
what I wanted from this. Perfect.
Steph, so you and I met during the pandemic, I think, on a Zoom call.
Yes.
One of the things that I was struck by was when I first met you was that your openness and willing to engage. And as a younger dentist compared to maybe myself or Dr. McNeill, where do you see your role in organized dentistry or the profession of dentistry now and in the future? What do you see?
Wow.
Thank you for that question.
Great question.
I'm going to answer it with humility and a little bit more understanding than maybe I would have a few years ago. Aspiring is the word that comes to mind. And the more I learn about how amazing other people are, and the more I can get out of myself and start to just peek outside and say, wow, all three of us just did a Texas Mission of Mercy, for instance. And part of being open is you get to meet a lot of people. But if you have ears to hear their story, and if you can accept that other people actually are really superstars and they've done a lot of crazy stuff. I used to think I ran cross country in college. I used to think I was kind of like a big deal with the running community. And then I've met 3 people just in this last week alone who have, at one point in time, beaten all of my times from a younger age.
Really?
Now you know how I feel.
Yes. And so what that does is it helps me see the world with a little different eyes. And I still love being open and hearing other people's stories, but it makes me focus on aspiring. We have a women's group through our Harvard Surgical Leadership Program. And one of the cool things is I was talking to them about, we were talking about mentorship, and one of the female surgeons was like, yeah, if you can't see it, you can't do it. And they were talking about having different kinds of role models through life. And so part of where I'm at right now is establishing role models. And maybe I'm super late to the game on that, but I have enjoyed hearing people's stories, hearing your story, and just establishing role models. So that's what I'm doing. And that's how I see myself right now, is just aspiring and trying to learn.
I think that's a great answer. And, one of the things that you said that kind of struck me, and I think as leaders, I think that we sometimes forget, is we want to give advice, and we want to basically hold court with these young folks when we're around them. But I think we have to do a better job of listening, because I think one of the most effective things about a leader is the ability to listen. And I don't think we do a good enough job of that. And I know I work on that myself every day, because as you said, we were just with these young people at the Mission of Mercy in Bonham yesterday and the day before. And I get so much from listening to these young folks. I worked with a young pre-dental student that knew more about dentistry than some dental students. And he found a lot of his information off of YouTube, and he's so engaged, and he hasn't even gotten into dental school yet. And hearing his story, it'll stay with me long after the T-mom is gone and so forth. So I think listening is super, super important.
And I'm going to, before Bob steals this away and says he loves listening too, I'm going to say that is exactly that's what a young dentist wants. We just want to be heard. Are we gonna lead the ADA? No, but we want to be heard, and we want to have an aspiring role. We want someone to listen to us, because we feel like, I don't know, from my personal perspective, just like this was it a pre-dental student?
Pre-dental student. I was listening. It was a pre-dental
You were listening. Oh, good,
yes.
good.
Yeah.
You can learn something from anybody, and Bob had a Harvard, was it a Harvard, what kind of program was that? It was through the Kennedy School. Yeah. And one of the cool things about they talked there was mentoring up and mentoring down. Yeah. And I never heard the mentoring up, which talks about like a pre-dental student, discussing something
you can learn so much
with anybody. Yeah.
Yeah, you really can.
I love that. I love that you're focused on listening. I can't tell you how many times that can feel like lip service. Versus
Don't say lip.
I can tell when somebody is authentically listening, and I think you are one of them. Yeah. So thank you for that.
It's a hard skill to perfect, and I think that you need to practice it. And one of my goals is to be a better listener, because like you say, there's so many stories out there that can make us better as a profession. And if you're not listening and learning every day, then you're not really growing as a person or as a professional. And so I think we all have room for that. So I'm looking forward to
I
hearing lots of stories.
Agreed.
I
But
love
speaking of
that.
stories, I want to ask another story.
Okay.
Where do you all see yourselves in 10 years?
Do you want to go first?
I, I always told myself I would be a professional athlete before I was a dentist.
Okay.
And as a 5'3" person, I just had my perspective on the world is so different than sometimes someone who has a little bit more of a realistic view of the world. So in 10 years, I think I see myself trying new things, always just learning, whether it's running. Like I said, I've been talking to people about their running times from the past. Man, I'm on fire for running again. And there was a point there where I wasn't. So I want to keep or maintain some athletic ability over the next 10 years. I want to grow a practice. And, hopefully this is what I really want to do. I want to be able to connect with my peer group. And I'm going to be a little vulnerable here, but it's so true. It's actually really tough for people my age to connect with each other. Part of it is, as millennials, we didn't grow up calling each other. We grew up texting each other, and we grew up on MySpace and Facebook, and that allows for just a different mode of communication. It's really tough to connect with someone you see as a threat to you. Or if there's one position and you both are really want it, and one of you is going to get it and one of you's not. So in 10 years, I want to be a lot better at being the first person to call and say, hey, what are you doing? What are you up to? How can I help you? Because I'm not there yet, but that's where I see myself in 10 years, is figuring out how to get there.
That was
Nice.
a really long answer. Thank you.
They will always be long. Don't worry about it.
And on my side of the equation, in the essence of time, I will just say I'm not sure. And I'm a big time planner. And I learned a couple years ago, the universe has a path for you. And you can call it God. You can say it's the universe talking to you. It's always talking if we just listen. And the journey you can go on, if you try to not be against many things. Did I think I'd have a YouTube channel? No, not at all. Did I think we'd show up to ADA annual session in satin jackets and do podcasting? Not at all. And if you are open to things and say, oh, okay, here's something that's interesting. Here's something that allows us to get this message of connection, discovery, and inspiration out there, and it's fun. Do it. So
Nice.
I don't know. I'm just going to keep following the path of the universe.
So you've got two I don't knows. Craig, what about you?
Well, for me, I think so. I grew up with a lot of change in my life. My dad was military, and so we moved a lot. And I find that change has kind of instilled in me a sense of optimism that no matter what life throws my way, I can manage. I can find an opportunity in that. And to me, that's the best way to go through life. I look for adventure in what I do. When my wife Lana and I go on vacation, for instance, we don't go on a canned vacation. We go on a vacation that maybe a native in that country would go on. And to give an example, we went on vacation to Greece, and we did mountain biking, and we rented a car, and we went to no islands. And when I tell people I went to Greece and I didn't go to Mykonos or Rhodes or whatever, they're like, well, what did you do? Yeah. And so we went through the Mani Peninsula, and we hiked and we biked and we ate our way through these amazing places. And when we got done, we dropped the car off, and our driver picked us up, take us back to the hotel. He said, so where did you guys go? And we said, well, we put like 1,200 miles on a car, and we did the Mani Peninsula, and we did this and we did that. And he goes, oh my gosh, that's not what Americans typically do. Yeah. That's a Greek vacation. And I said, well, exactly. I want to sit by the side of the water and watch the fishing boats come in, catching the fish, scaling it on the side of the restaurant, and having some octopus or whatever. To me, it doesn't get any better than that. I mean, and it's not. I don't know what it's going to look like, but I'm going to make the most of it. And that's what I think is important for us, even as a profession. There's so many changes coming our way in dentistry. And I think you have to be open to those changes. And certainly there's some changes that could probably be harmful to the profession. And I think you need some guidance to help direct it. But you've got to be able to roll with the punches, so to speak, and find the best in where we're going. And so for me, I just like to think that one of my traits or one of my results of my upbringing has been that I can take change and adapt and modify and create something going forward. So for me, that's the biggest thing. And it, my story is not been a smooth path or whatever. It's been kind of, crazy, but I wouldn't trade it for anything because it's really made me who I am. And it's given me some perspective that, I would stack up against anybody's. And I think that's what happens when you're an optimist and you see things, the glass half full kind of guy. So that's how I see the future, just be able to go with it.
Awesome.
So.
That's
well
the way
said.
Life go right there.
I mean, that gave me chills. I love that you like to take adventures like that. Not many, I don't think everybody would look at like your Grease example. That makes you unique. And that makes you very genuine. And I love that.
I'm a planner. You're an adventurer that just gets out there.
Yeah.
We did this Italian
just get this out
journey.
up front. We're going to Warsaw, and I know we're going to be working hard, taking care of some people that are really in some unfortunate situations. Yeah. But we are going to be doing some stuff with the locals. And I mean that. So we're going to try to keep you, Bob, out of trouble, but we're going to make sure that we're going to have some adventures with the locals that we're going to take home, and we're going to make a difference. So it's going to be a great ride.
That is going to be awesome.
I am so excited. I love that. That's your perspective.
That's a great attitude. You're supposed to have
oh
that
my
attitude.
Gosh. This is great.
It's a glass half full. It's the pie can always get bigger.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
That is amazing. That's a really good answer.
We really appreciate you taking over our channel. I think he's done a better job than we've ever done, to be honest.
Absolutely not.
I think so. I think
it's
you're
an
definitely in the running there.
For me to be in, but it's been fun talking to you guys.
Well,
so.
This is kind of, we always wrap up with something kind of unique and different. A lot of times, and a lot of times.
I never watch it, to be honest with you.
A lot of times our guests love to sing and dance. And so we got a list here of songs that we might sing and dance to. And Lady Gaga is kind of on the top of our list. So I hope, Craig, you'll kind of embrace this. If you're on board with this, we're all going to sing some Lady Gaga. Do you guys have a beat for us?
No, so I don't know how the songs go.
Well, I am a karaoke guy, but I don't know about, Lady Gaga is not necessarily my go-to. But, hey.
Just out of curiosity, what's your go-to karaoke song?
I like the Beatles, and so Oobla Dee Oobla Da is one of my songs. So, we were in DC just recently for Lobby Day, and one of the lobbyists, Megan Mortimer, and I used to do that song in karaoke in DC when I was there for CGA. So we did that every year. So
we got to look for karaoke.
What is okay? Well, I'm curious now. What's your favorite karaoke song?
So mine's The Gambler.
Oh, that's
Kenny
so
Rogers.
tough.
Oh, Kenny Rogers, huh?
Yeah.
A Houston guy, right? Grew up in the projects in Houston. I don't know if you knew that, but
being Canadian, no, I didn't know that.
No. You guys don't happen to know 1738 at all by Fetty Wap?
1738.
Other than you.
Yeah.
Do you, oh man. All right, we're gonna send you that one. Okay.
Right.
Thanks, guys. We love you guys. Thank you so much for watching.
Thank you for taking over the channel. This has been the best.
This has been a reverse role
that's ever happened ever. So
all right.
Please hit the subscribe. Thank you.